Well, here we are with my guest series continuing.
Man Up with Mark. Mark talks about everything under the sun. You may agree with him, and again, you may not.
Today, I'm going to be talking with a friend of mine that I met through the voiceover gig business. Got together with this person back when Cindy and I met. Cindy and this person by the name of Doug Mass, they were starting up a voiceover get-together group, meetup group. And I joined the group, and this was back in 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. But at any rate, Doug has been so gracious and kind to accept my invitation to join me in just a chit chat about whatever the shit we want to talk about. So, without further ado, here's Doug. So,
Hey there.
Doug, what did we want to talk about today? You made mention of something earlier, so what do you want to? What's on your brain?
Yeah. Well, as you get older, you think back on your life and you really kind of wonder how you ended up where you're at. And of course, the people that you meet along the way, why did you meet that person? Um, I don't really think about it too much along the way, but again, as you start looking back, is it coincidence that you ended up in the jobs or the areas that you're in? Was it luck? Is it divine intervention? I don't know. But it
Oh,
just seems strange sometimes how you end up where you are.
yeah, yeah. Well, like you mentioned before, you are born and raised in Iowa.
Yes, I'm down in Southwest Iowa. Grew up on
So,
a farm there. And as I mentioned, as I grew up, never thought that I would go west of Omaha, Nebraska, or east of Des Moines, Iowa.
you know what?
And
I've been to both of those places, and I don't want to go back there to either one of them.
well, if you can catch a few days in the spring and a few days in the fall, it's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Uh, but otherwise, you're going to really be cold in the winter, and you're going to sweat like crazy in the summer.
Yes. 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 So you say you grew up on the farm there. Was it a what type of farm was it? Was it a standard cows and pigs and chicken farm or
It was pretty much everything. Yeah, we had cows, and we had pigs, and we had chickens,
uh,
uh, big garden, and my dad farmed about 1,200 acres. He had corn, he grew soybeans, he had alfalfa we cut for hay, and he would raise some oats, and we would bale the hay and haul the hay in and stack the hay, and then feed the hay. So there's a lot of labor
so
involved
the,
with that.
the stereotypical Iowa farm, corn and pigs.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
All right, very good. That's perfect. So what made you, you're living there and what made you leave? How old were you when you left?
Well, when I actually moved to Denver, I was 30 years old, or just a couple months short of 30 years old.
That's just a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, about two and a half. And so, um, anyway, growing up on the farm, I didn't think I would really be doing anything else but farming, and I didn't really see that as my life, but it was good. And when I got out of school, um, the banker there in town invited me to fill out an application for a teller job, which I did, and I got a call about a year and a half after I graduated from high school, and again, no college or anything at the time, just a semester or so. And I got hired at the bank as a teller, which was okay. Really wasn't planning on being a banker. but how they called me so much later after the application. And I worked there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And my dad needed some help on the farm. So I left the bank and I moved back to the farm. And I'd farmed there for about 3 years. And I went into the bank one day to borrow money for cattle. And they said, "Hey, have you ever thought about coming back to the bank?" I thought, well, that's interesting. I said, well, not as a teller, I'm okay with that. But they said, well, we need a branch manager, someone to do loans at the little branch office about 12 miles out of town. And we want somebody to get insurance licenses and real estate licenses and be able to do that out of the bank. So I said, wow, that sounded familiar. Or it sounded good. And I talked to my folks and I said, well, that sounds like a good opportunity. So I ended up moving back from the farm, which is about 40 miles out of town, back to close to the town and close to Omaha. And, I went there and I was probably 1978 and got to 1983. And they kind of pulled the rug out from under me on a couple of things. And I was looking for another bank job somewhere. And but that doesn't sound right, does it? I'm looking for a bank job. That sounds like more like
that sounds like rather criminal type stuff here.
Yeah, it sounds more like Al Capone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or Bonnie and Clyde. So I looked at a bank in Wayne, Nebraska, and got offered a job up there. About the same time that my wife and I took a little trip out to Colorado, into Denver, and called an old friend of mine that I had worked at the bank with that had moved out here. Let's go to dinner. We went to dinner, and we were coming back from dinner, and he said, "Hey," he says, "have you ever thought about moving to Colorado?" Well, no, I really never had. It had never been, it crossed my radar to do that. So they offered me a job, and it sounded like a good opportunity. So I ended up moving lock, stock, and barrel out to Colorado.
Huh?
And I've been here ever since, not necessarily in the bank, but, I guess that was one of the coincidence things, that I happened to call him. He happened to be looking for a loan officer. He offered me a job and said, got me out here to Colorado. So, again, coincidence, luck. Am I supposed to be out here? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. So when I left the banking world, I went to transportation. Well, I was doing a little bit of insurance, and the lady that I worked with, her husband worked for a tour bus company, and she was telling me what he does. Oh yeah, he's taking people to a ball game tonight. Next week he goes to California. He's picked up some people. I thought that sounds a lot more fun than just sitting in an insurance office or in a bank. So that's really what got me into the tour bus and the bus business.
Okay.
So again, just running into her and knowing her, again, it changed my direction and changed my course of careers. And I stayed in that ever since at different companies. And so I actually, a few years into it, I was working for a company out of Omaha, Nebraska. And I was doing tours. I was really still kind of, I had moved back there for just about a year. And they, when I finished the tours one year, they asked me to meet them at a building. They were looking to open an office out here. And I said, okay. So they wanted to see if the buses would fit in the garage that they were looking at. So when I did, they looked around at several places. We got done, and the owner of the company and his CEO asked me if I'd be the manager for the office and open the office out here. Which, again, how they picked me or why, I have no idea. But
it's just your golden charisma. That's what it is.
That sounds more like a stretch than anything. But anyway, it moved me right back to Colorado, and I'd been in Omaha for about a year and a half. And so somehow I was supposed to be back in Colorado. kind of went through the rest of my bus career out here, but I'd gotten divorced previously and remarried, and my wife was a travel agent, so she had the opportunity to go on cruises and these different things and to Europe, and I was fortunate enough to tag along. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So we got to do quite a few cruises, some trips to Europe, and she won a trip one time, a drawing at a meeting, and won a trip to. It was originally for Ireland, but she and her mom had just been there like a month or two before, and she said, "Well, I don't want to, feel like I don't appreciate this, but is there another trip I could take?" They said, "Sure, pick anything out of the book," and we went to Egypt. So,
wow,
we did a cruise on the Nile in Egypt, and I thought, I would never have imagined myself being able to see that sort of thing. So again, how do these things all come into play?
Yeah. What I want to know is, when you were in Egypt, did you see any UFOs land on top of the pyramids? That's the important question there.
Let me tell you, I was looking.
Okay, good. All right.
I was looking. Yeah, I've looked for years, and I still haven't found one yet. Well, one time, one I can't identify, but anyway, yeah, it was nice. So we got to spend I think it was about a week or 10 days. And got to cruise up the Nile, and again, this little farm boy from Iowa never thought that he would ever see outside of the state borders. But
cool.
Yeah, lucky, yeah, coincidence, some of it, I guess.
So,
and then, sorry.
No, I was just going to say. So, pretty much your life has been in the Midwest: Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado. I guess we could call that a mountain state. Is that called Mountain West?
Yeah. I think if you're this side of the foothills, you can still call it Midwest, although most people from Denver would just slap me for that.
Well, you know what? It's good to piss off Denverites,
That's every once in a while. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So I guess that comes into play with, the people that you meet along the way. The banker that originally asked me to fill out an application, and then it was a totally different banker that asked me to be a branch manager. And then, I just happened to run into my friend out here who got me to Colorado, and, and so on. And then there's just, more as I went. Just people that I met, and just kind of lead you down little different paths and where you go. So
yep, and you met myself and Cindy through a voiceover class that you took, or a voiceover seminar or something like that, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And whatever enticed you to do voiceover, that's always interested me. I talked to John earlier about that on a previous podcast, and just so that the audience knows, we're not talking behind John's back. We all know John. Doug knows John. I know John. John knows John. But at any rate, I talked to him and asked him what made him spark about I'm going to look into this voiceover gig. So what all of a sudden made you go, I want to check out voiceover? It's not everybody or everything or anyone's, thing that they would think about doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it wasn't ever really anything that I thought about. You have people once in a while say, "Oh, you got a good voice." And when my wife here, one time early in our relationship, she said, "You got a really good voice." She said, "I've known some DJs," and she said, I think you would really, really be good with that. So I was kind of doing the bus business at the time, and I found a school here in Denver that was had studios here in town. They would go in and you would record, and this is 1989, I think, and so I went in and I did the school and made the cassette tapes. And I thought, this is kind of fun. So I enjoyed it. And sent some tapes out, but never really considered myself as a good voiceover person or DJ. I didn't want to do that because I knew if I ever got live on a radio, I would say something foul and I'd lose a job in a heartbeat. So I thought, no, don't do that, Doug. That's not a good. That's not good.
That's okay. You can say foul things on my channel. It's okay. You won't. Yeah, we won't lose anything. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, you just opened the floodgate there, man. No, so and I like the commercial parts, where you could kind of work on that and do several takes if you needed to. So I worked on it just a little bit, never really got very far. So I kind of put it off on the side burner. And then as it's getting closer to retirement, and she said again, you probably should look into that and do something. And I think there was an open. Don't say meeting, but I think over to Arapahoe Community College, and the voice people were over there, and they were really just kind of scouting around and offering stuff. So that's where I went to, and where I met Cindy, and we did our recording and the school, and then of course when we started the meetup group, that's when I met you and our other people on there. So,
yeah. And that was all of, like I said, probably 15 years ago.
Yes, it was. I think I looked at my paperwork, and I think it was 2010 almost. I think that I went for, or was it that late? Maybe it was 12, something like that. But it's been a little while.
Yeah. No, I think it was 2010 when we kind of got together for our first meetup meeting about voiceover. And so it's been, 14 years ish, because we're 2024 right now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. It's interesting.
And then, like you and, John and everyone, it's a tough business to get into, and I never felt that I was tech savvy enough to really do the recordings and do the editing and adding the background and the music and all that. So I thought, if you guys have had such a tough time, it's going to be an uphill battle all the way for me. So that's
it's funny how some people it clicks with, and they make a good life with it. They make a good income, and they get plenty of work. And for other people like myself and John, not that we don't have decent enough voices or that we don't have the tech savviness, it just doesn't work for us, because both John and I agreed, and you'll probably fall into the same category. We just didn't want to put 8-10 hours a day into voiceover marketing and research and classes and all the things you have to do to make a decent income in voiceover. I don't care what you hear, kids, boys and girls. I don't care what you hear on the internet when you hear these people saying you can get into voiceover for practically nothing and make money. Well, you can't do it for practically nothing. It costs, and you got to work. You got to work a lot.
It's really a full-time job.
It is. It is. I mean, you can do it part-time, but you won't make any money. It's just, yeah. And even though they say you can get into it with no money, hardly, you can get inexpensive equipment and use your own computer and this, $120 and you can get into voice. No, you need classes and you need coaching and you got to get into the pay-to-play websites, and it all costs money.
Yes, it does, and takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, and like most of us, we have to earn a living of some kind. How old we are. I mean, if you're retired, you can do it, but after you're retired, do you really want another full-time job?
Exactly, and that's what we. I mean, again, we met a lot of neat people, in the journey, just like what you put it, with your journeys and, meeting people, with whatever gig you fell into. Yeah, that was fun. But everything else was just too much work and too much money.
It is. It really is, and it's a shame because it'd be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
But, how much fun can you have? I don't know.
Well,
without
yeah.
making any income.
I can only have so much fun. It's just, I have a limit.
That's right. That's right.
And my fun limit is, doing podcasts now. I thought to myself, well, you know what? I spent all this money on all of this equipment that I'm no longer using in VoiceOver. I could transfer that right over to podcasting, and it'll be a breeze.
Sure, nothing to it.
Yeah. Found myself another full-time job that doesn't make any money.
I was just going to say another full-time job with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Well, anything else that pops into your brain?
Well, that's the thing. I guess I'm asking anybody out there. What do you believe that is? Do we have a certain destiny, or are we guided along the way? I mean, those people that meet us, guided to, or the people that we meet, are they guided to meet us? Another thought. This is kind of a little bit different, but another thought. When you go to sleep at night and you're having dreams,
Yeah.
and you see all these people around, where are those people all coming from?
Oh, yeah. You mean people that you recognize or don't recognize?
People you don't recognize.
In your dreams?
In your dreams, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in a big room, you see a lot of people, you don't recognize any of them. Where'd they come from?
Yeah, that, you know what? That now you've just delved into a whole different area. Yeah, yes. I often wonder that. I don't remember my dreams much, about what the dream was about,
Yeah.
the subject matter of the dream. But I do remember that there were people in it, and I'm thinking to myself, who are they? Yeah, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Now, are they people that you've just seen throughout the day or throughout the week, maybe, that they just kind of, their faces kind of stuck in it? But let me take you one more step.
Oh, okay.
Those people that are in your dream, are they having the same dream, or they see you and don't know you?
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Oh, man. Mind blown. Thank you very much.
No problem. It's my specialty.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Okay.
Maybe we should have started with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's wow. You know what? I used to think about that kind of stuff when I was young, and I just got done eating mushrooms and I'm smoking dope, then I started thinking about that. What if the whole universe is inside a marble and we're
That's right. And we're
Yes, yes. Yeah, is it destiny, or is it a divine intervention, or is it just shit happens? Who knows? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I have no answers for that. And the people I've met along the way, sometimes they've been good influence, sometimes bad, and sometimes you only meet for a short time, and they make a great mark on your life. And one guy that I only worked with him for a couple of years, but I learned more from him than people that I'd worked with for 10 years. And a great guy, just amazing. And think about him a lot. He's passed away, of course, but a great guy. And I think, okay, people like that you run into that kind of guide you, or and maybe they don't even know it.
Yeah.
That they've,
And at the time, you don't even know it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you look back and then you realize, oh my gosh, yeah, that person really was a good influence, or taught me a lot, or just give me some really good ideas on things.
All right. Cool. You know what? That topic took us into a place that I didn't think we were going to go.
Well, me too.
Not that that's bad. No, that's all good. That's good. So that brings me to the part of the podcast where I ask my watchers and listeners out there, What do you think about the topic, about going through life and meeting people? You got any comments? Throw it our way. So, throw me a comment. Let me know what you think about what we've been talking about. And also, if you would please like and subscribe and ring the bell that will notify you when my podcasts come up. And you know what I'd really like? Yeah, Doug, you know what I would really like?
What would you really like, Mark?
Thank you. I would really like my listeners and my viewers to donate to my Patreon. Yep, my Patreon is at patreon.com/manupwithmark. And right there you could donate $5. You could donate $5,000. I'll take whatever you can give me. That'd be great. So with that, Doug, do you have anything else to say?
Just subscribe and get to that Patreon account.
Thank you.
5,000 isn't the limit, right?
Oh, no. Hell, if you want to get more, you can get more. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that they knew that out there.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you clarified that. All right. Well, for myself and for Doug, we're done talking to you. See ya.
If you have a question or comment, email Mark at manupwithmark.com.